Okay, fine. Let's discuss about PHP hypertext preprocessor, or the other name for PHP is personal homepage, which is generally used personal homepage, whereas technically PHP stands for hypertext preprocessor. So what does this mean? What is it actually? We should know, because we have come across many languages, right from C, C++, object-oriented programming through Java, many other languages, right? So besides those, we have some one other language called as PHP. We should see what is this now, why it is called so. So basically, this PHP hypertext preprocessor is a programming language that allows web developers to create dynamic content that interacts with databases. So we have seen many languages, we have been coding them, we have been creating many projects using those languages. But besides coding and connecting to databases, here we have a language that is used to create web pages, that is used to create web pages, that is used to create dynamic content on the web pages. Okay, so if at all, if you wanted to learn or create some web page, a static web page, let us suppose, we will be using HTML, hypertext markup language. If you wanted it to be done through, particularly through some syntax, following certain rules, if that is the case, then you will be using XML, extensible markup language. If you wanted to combine these two things, like creating the web page as well as adding certain syntax or certain rules over the page, you'll be using XHTML. Besides that languages, you have one more thing, one more language in order to create dynamic content on the web page, that is nothing but a hypertext preprocessor. So this is basically used for developing web-based software applications, because that is used to create dynamic content on the web page. As a result, it is used in the in developing the web page. Okay, so now what do we say about PHP? We say PHP is a server-side scripting language. That means the language which we generally, if you go for C or Java, those are all said to be client-side languages, where you'll be developing it on the client side and get it connected to the server. But this is said to be a server-side scripting language, which is embedded in our HTML. Why are we embedding it in HTML? Because hypertext markup language is a language which is used to create certain dynamic content. So some static content. This hypertext markup language is a markup language used to create some static web content. But you have another language called as PHP, which is used to create dynamic content on the same page. So this HTML is used to determine certain look and feel to the web page, and the PHP is a language which is used within this HTML, so that it will create dynamic content, dynamism to that particular web page. That is why we say that it is used to manage dynamic content, databases, session tracking, even build entire e-commerce sites, which we all see nowadays. E-commerce site, see, if you find it, if you look at the homepage or any page within an e-commerce site, what happens? You will be finding certain things getting scrolled. Okay, you'll be observing certain colors over the page. You'll have different colors on the page. All that is done through HTML. But when you see some dynamic thing, or some images getting scrolled, some ads coming in between, all this is because of the adding dynamic content to the page, that is done through PHP. So this is said to be a service scripting language and a powerful tool for making dynamic and interactive web pages. That is what is PHP. So how do you do it? You do it by embedding the code inside the HTML. Okay, so this is widely used, free and efficient alternative to computers such as Microsoft's ASP. ASP is basically one language which was developed before that of PHP. This ASP is said to be active server pages, which is developed by Microsoft. Even ASP is also used to create dynamic web content on the page. Okay, dynamic web content is used to provide dynamic web content to the web page. Okay, now PHP, as it is providing the same dynamic content, as it is able to provide or keep track of our cookies and sessions. our cookies and sessions, PHP has become a very good competitor for such language called ASP. So as soon as PHP has entered into the world, ASP got is little in its use, and compared to that of PHP, I don't think now even people are using Microsoft's ASP. And as such, PHP 7 is the latest release which is being used. So if you wanted to install anything, we need to use PHP 7. Okay, so how PHP works, what is its basic things, all that we should see in our coming session. That is, see, if you look at the common uses, basically when you say it's a language, it should perform certain things. So our PHP performs the system functions, that is working with the files on the system. It should be able to create, read, open, write, and close them. So this particular topic can be handled in PHP file handling, which I had already discussed. Okay, so by using all such file handling functions, PHP is going to perform certain system functions so that it can create, open, read, write, and close them. Okay, PHP can handle forms. Okay, see, if you can remember your HTML language, using HTML you will be creating forms. Okay, similarly, even PHP also can handle forms, can create forms. How it handles forms? By gathering data from certain files by using file handling functions. Save the data to a particular file through email. You can send data, return data to the user. All these performance of handling forms can be done by PHP also. PHP hypertext preprocessor language also. Okay, and this is also used to add, delete, modify elements within the database, which they use. This can be used to do certain things on the databases also. And as we have seen, it can access cookies, and it can set the cookies. What is a cookie? A cookie is a program which is getting executed on the server side. As soon as the cookie is set with a particular session, what will happen within a particular session? If at all, if you are trying to access it twice or thrice, it will be coming out easily without any problem. That is what is a cookie. So this is used to access cookies variables and set cookies. So using PHP, we can do that. We can set cookies variables and access cookie variables. As well, you can restrict users to access some pages of your website also. And PHP is also used to encrypt the data within the page. PHP file contains text, HTML tags, and scripts. As we say, PHP is embedded within HTML code. This will contain certain text. Let me tell you one thing. PHP had what do we say? It had a particular syntax to write that particular program. So PHP file contains text, HTML tags, and scripts. Okay, so these PHP files are written to browser as plain HTML, because PHP is written where on the server side, because it is a server side scripting language. So PHP files are written to browser as plain HTML. Okay, and whenever you write a PHP program, you should use the extension called as .php or .phtml or .php3. But we basically using only this particular thing .php. Okay, next, why should we use PHP? Why should we use PHP? That is, PHP runs on various platforms. So one very important thing. This is the very most important thing regarding PHP. See, PHP runs on various platforms like Windows, Linux. So when we say it can run on various platforms, it is called as a platform independent. Do you remember this? Our object-oriented programming language, that is Java, is also platform independent. Similarly, PHP is also platform independent. This language, as such, this language will be compatible with all servers used. Okay, like Apache, IIS, etc. Because we are saying it is a server-side scripting language. Okay, so it supports a wide range of databases because any server is associated with a certain database, so it is associated with the databases. And next, this is free to download. PHP is free to download, so we can easily download from www.php.net. This is easy to learn and runs efficiently on the server side because anyway it's a server side scripting language. Yes. Now PHP script is used. PHP script is executed on the server and the plain HTML result is sent back to the browser because it is a server-side scripting language. It is executed on the server and the result, the plain HTML, the code which is being sent to the client will be in a plain HTML code and that will be sent back to the browser. Okay, and as I told you, this is a particular language which consists of certain syntax. This is a syntax over here. That is this thing. So it should start, the PHP script should start with angular bracket and question mark PHP, write some code within it and then write question mark and then close it. First you open here, close here. After that, write the question mark and then close with the question mark and then angular bracket greater than symbol. Then the entire code of PHP is written here. This entire code is embedded within HTML tags. Is this clear? Next, so as we have seen, the default file extension of PHP is the .php. And any PHP file normally contains HTML tags and some PHP scripting code. We'll see that example. We'll see that example. Yeah, of a simple pair with a simple. Yeah, if you can look here. See, this is the place from where your PHP code starts. And as we told, PHP code will be embedded into the HTML page. That is why this particular code got embedded in between the HTML tags. HTML. So whenever you start writing your HTML, you'll use HTML body and then close the body and then close the HTML. Yes or no? Within this, you will be writing some code, something like my first page, whatever it is, within the heading. H1, H2, H3, H4 determines the size of the heading. Yes or no? Yes. So this particular thing is said to be a PHP code, PHP program, because you are finding some PHP code which is embedded inside the HTML page. This HTML page alone is used to create a static page. Within the static page, if you wanted to provide some dynamic nature to the web page, you will be using this particular PHP code. Okay, you can write anything, not only a single statement, you'll be writing a number of statements. Here you'll be creating certain forms as well. Okay, within the forms again, it will be able to, when it is submitted, suppose if you have a button and if you submit it, it should be able to go to some other page. This is how you'll be providing dynamism to the particular page. Okay, all that thing is written where can be written within this set of lines. Okay, this is what is called as some PHP code within the HTML tags, which is always important, should be written within HTML tags. Let's speak something, because when we are writing the code, we need to know certain rules and regulations of a particular language. We need to know certain rules and regulations. As such, in PHP, you don't have any keywords like if, else, while. All these you don't have any keywords, and user defined functions or classes functions are all case sensitive. That means when you start writing with a small letter, it should be in the small letters. Okay, see if you can look at one example with regard to the what do we call this particular keyword, something like echo, which is used to print. See if you can look here, echo hello world. Echo here is used to print that particular statement. For example, in our Java program, we have it like system.out.println. If it is a C language, we have it something called as printf. Yes or no, which is used to print, to show the output to the screen. Similarly, here we have something called as echo in PHP. Echo in PHP. Okay, this echo is used to print the data. Okay, so if you are using such echo within this PHP, this doesn't need this echo keyword, doesn't need any The one which is used to print the statement, print the output statement, doesn't need any case sensitive. Even this will give you the data, even this or as in this will give you the output. Okay, and one very more important thing about PHP is, as we have in other languages, even here we have PHP comments. The thing is, when you consider PHP comments, the comments are basically used to determine what that particular line of code is saying. Because uh, after you, someone else may come in your place and continue with the code. He should know what you have written. He or she should know what you have written. So, in order to make people understand what we wrote, in such cases, we'll be using comment lines. In such cases, we'll be using comment lines. Okay. Similarly, suppose if you only wanted to know after a while, after some few days, if you open this particular file, even then you should know what you have written. Sometimes these comment lines also will make us understand what are we trying to think or what we thought while writing that particular line of code. So these are various uses with respect to comment lines. As a result, as PHP is also a language which is used in the server side, we need to specify certain comments to understand what is the basic idea why that particular line of code is written. For that purpose, you'll be using comments, and the various ways of giving comment lines is something like this. See, if you can look here, you have single line comments, you have multiple line comments also. So how do you do that? If you consider single line comments, you can understand this particular thing is a PHP file. Yes, this is a PHP file and this is embedded within HTML. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Now, let me just, if I wanted to write a single line comment, I can use either two backslash like this, or I'll be using a hash symbol. Okay, when I write this, while writing the code itself, when I write this, it's nothing but it is said to be a comment. Okay, even backslash, two backslash, or one this hash symbol. Okay, this is single line comment. Similarly, you have one more thing, another PHP program about multiple line comments. The thing is, this is also a PHP program which is embedded in the HTML. Everything is fine. In order to say that these are multiple lines and these are written in comments, then it should be enclosed within these particular lines of code, that is backslash, star, and that's it. Is this clear? So what is happening here? As comment lines are very important during our programming, during the development of any code, as such, we will be using single line comments and multi-line comments, and these are different ways of using single line comments, and these are different ways of using multi-line comments within a program in PHP. Because these comment lines are not same in all the languages. They differ from one language to another language, and every language is unique on its own. As a result, we need to remember these comment lines, how we are writing the comment lines and how to write the comment lines, how to specify single line comments as well as multi-line comments. Is this clear? And this is one example using comments to leave outer parts of the code. This is something like this, backslash, star, and that means you are performing some addition operation and assigning the value to this particular variable called as x. Okay, so what you are doing is you are specifying that you can also use comments to leave out parts of a code line. To specify certain parts of a code line, you can use the comments even in this way. But we generally don't go for this thing, because it should be anything which is written within the code should be understandable by everyone. It should be easy to grasp. We do not know, if we could not understand what it is, we'll be at a different situation. So it's better to go for only single line comments like this, backslash or hash, or multi-line comments like this. Is this clear? Within backslash star and enclosed within backslash star and star backslash. This is clear. So this is what happens, and this is what is a basic thing about PHP. This is the basic thing, how the language is about to start, about to continue, all these things. Okay, this is what happens in your the introduction part of your PHP hypertext preprocessor. Okay, thank you guys.